Welcome, friends. Welcome to today's Reconsider It live stream. Best live stream you're gonna see all day. And here on this live stream, you are gonna get a very nice hour of some hanging out in the studio, tinkering around with some loopers. All vocals going into the loopers, that's it. But we are bringing in the synth today. regulars know what it is. Speaking of my regulars, I see already in the chat we have the great and mighty His Majesty. If you are new to the Reconsider It live streams, welcome! You made the right decision joining us. We want you here. At this time, my friends, we are in a warm-up phase. We are just getting ourselves situated. We are, in fact, getting the blood flowing. And here in this warm-up phase, I need to celebrate. I need to celebrate you. Thank you for being here. Whether you are here with us live in the chat, or you are here with us live but you are not in the chat, or you are here with us after the stream, watching on replay, however it is that you are here with us, thank you for being here. I'm going to celebrate you at this time in this way. I have got my drink right here. I am going to count to 3. I am going to clink the screen. You are invited to join the rest of us as we cheers along and celebrate our togetherfulness. 1. Yes, that's very good. Very much in line with what you want. 2. The build-up is exquisite. And here it comes, all the fulfillment. Blink. Cheers, my friend. getting caught up on the chat. And I see right now, the man himself, the breathalyzer, has joined us. We also have with us regulars understand what's happening right now. I'm just sort of finding some kind of good sound. I'm probably going to be playing around with the sounds on the synth for probably a couple minutes till I find something that is working. Just an FYI, if you're not sure what suddenly is going on. The synth, by the way, is not hooked up to the loopers. The loopers is purely vocals, or the looper, everything you hear on the loopers is purely vocals. The synths aren't even hooked up. They go through the mixer. Friends, I have some very good news. Now, there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is as follows. Actually, let me give you the bad news first. Let me give you the bad news first. There's good news and the bad news. Here's the bad news. The bad news is that the following good news is really only applicable for me. So that's the bad news. Here's the good news. My local grocery store just got like the very awesome mangoes. This is like exactly what a mango is supposed to be. I haven't had a mango like this in years. Years it's been since I had a mango this dope. So naturally I'm getting quite a lot at this time. My refrigerator has mango slices in it. I got a carton of slices that they sliced up. So, the good news is I'm enjoying some high-quality mangoes at this time. There you go. Says that he recently just had a bunch of homegrown watermelon. Oh, it's just like less than an hour ago. It was super sweet and juicy. That's awesome. Yeah, I continue to entertain the idea of a garden. I do not have a garden currently, and I am not an experienced plant person. maker of plants to be done in the way that is with the growing. I am my favorite kind of houseplant is one that is extraordinarily low maintenance, including, you know, being able to withstand it with no problem if I water it less frequently than would be ideal. Those are the manner of plants I like a lot. And I do like to have plants for the purpose of air filtration to whatever degree they provide that. I think that's good. But a garden, yeah, that requires actual, like, capacity to guard or whatever it is you're doing in a garden. What are you doing in a garden? Such that the word is garden. Are you guarding? I guess garden is also the verb, question mark, to garden. Nick says that he's pretty good at guarding the den. Nick says this was his first successful watermelon. Last year it didn't go quite right. They grew, but they didn't really ripen. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that was. I mean, I guess as you say it, I like I say, I'm not a gardener. I don't do much with the gardens, but I'm interested in it because I recognize it as it's just like a valuable human unearthed skill. So, as I say, I'm entertaining the idea of having a garden, even if all I grow are very simple, you know, like simple herbs. It's a basil or something. Probably things like onions I would grow. Maybe carrots. I understand tomatoes are maybe a stepping stone for a beginner, question mark. Nick says he's got a lot of basil. And also I see happily. We got Hornet! Welcome. In addition to the really, really good mango, I also got some barbecue chicken bites. If you're wondering whether these are, you know, in the same way that I said the mango is on the level of which I've not had in years, like mega high quality mango. If you're wondering whether the barbecue chicken also matches that description, the answer is that I would use other words. I would use other words to describe the chicken, such as good. I also see that Thomas has joined us. a little bit of scratchiness in my throat. I had to... Yesterday was a Saturday, and so usually we have a Saturday stream. But I had to cancel it within like an hour or whatever it was of the stream because I strained my voice a couple of days ago. And I wouldn't have been able to make any kind of beats because my voice was so strained that I couldn't sustain, anything to make sounds. Plus, if I were talking for an hour, it would be straining my voice. I debated whether to go on today, but I was able to make beats, and I think I'm doing okay. I do feel my voice a little strained. But FYI, if you're hearing that on this stream, that's the explanation and background. You are fully caught up to speed. I see right now. Nick says that he's got a bunch of garlic. Garlic, and he has to plan the next batch. I think I would probably grow garlic as well. Garlic would be among the things I would grow. Discussion going on regarding some generational knowledge of farming. Oh, I don't know if I have that in my generational whatever. I don't recall having any. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. When I was very, 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 very young, like single digits of age, and not even all of them. There was a garden in the backyard of my parents' house. And they grew basil, I recall specifically, but a number of other things. And however big the plot, I don't know how big the plot was, enough to have, at least a couple feet both ways as a square. It was not teeny tiny. So I guess there is that. I shouldn't say there's no generational inherited knowledge. That was for a brief period when I was very, very young. And I was not at all involved with the creation or maintenance of this. It was just there. And I did nothing other than occasionally go get this or that thing, such as basil. I see right now in the chat. Thomas says, it sounds like elastic tempos. You mean because of the two different kick drums? Like this one's much more rapid fire. But then there's this one that's like not as much. Is that what you're talking about? This idea for a second kick drum layer that I could kind of go back and forth between. This was from a couple of streams ago. I forget. I wish I could remember who it was. I think it might have been Glitch Moth. But whoever it was, please come forward and claim your credit. Thomas says, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, so this idea of having two different kicks, that came from a couple streams ago. And I think it's the right move. I remember wanting to experiment with this more when I got the two loopers, and then it's like, oh, I have all these different possible loop channels to play with for the percussion. I could do so much. But I never really explored much the two separate kick drum layers. But I think it's the right move, partly for tempo reasons, partly just for variation. Thomas says this 2 layers of kick drums is a good move. Very good. All right. Yeah, I think it's the right move. I might totally switch up the way that I do drums in a fundamental manner when I get my second Mark II. I am planning to get a second Mark II looper since my original one, my Mark I down here, my original 505 Mark I, it's having some wear and tear issues. And to get it repaired would cost not as much as getting a new looper, but a significant chunk of the way there. So I'd be paying, a fair amount for a couple of targeted repairs so that, in the coming months and years, other things can also fail. I may as well just get a new looper, since I do intend to continue using these very heavily. And having a second Mark II would give me all sorts of additional options for the way I do the drums. Like, it's really going to be quite... I should start thinking about it now, like the things I can do with the drums with a second Mark II. There'll be a lot of similar things that are going on, but you're going to hear a much richer, sound palette in the percussion. There's already a few things I know I want to do with effects that are available only on the Mark I see right now. That Thomas is saying, "Oh, I'm glad you record." Yeah, I was just thinking, like, I think this is put together. I like this layer over here. This one. I think this one adds a good amount. And again, I'm very interested in continuing to explore this 2 levels of kick drum. Just thinking through some ideas here. I might have to reorganize the way that I put my 5 loop channels here. If I have 2 kicks, how am I going to, arrange them? And one thing I could do, this would probably take me a little bit of thinking. This wouldn't be implemented immediately by the next stream. Nothing like that. But what I could do is think through a possible new way of laying out my percussion. And then even start implementing it now while I still have the old Mark I looper, just so I get used to it. And incorporate the 2 kick drums in that somehow. Like, how will I be positioning them physically in these channels here? And I don't know. Maybe I have to experiment. I'm not sure. In any case, my friends, thank you for being here today. Thank you for being here for the creation of this most excellent beat. Got a little bit of synthing in today. Relatively small amount. Got a nice beat out of this. And whereas this was such a good stream, I hope to see you in the next live stream. My regulars know that we have a variety of types of live streams available here on Reconsider's Music Sketchpad. On this stream, we got the lower right. We got the tinkering in the studio. That's where there's no structure whatsoever. It's just playing around on the loopers, building a beat, talking about whatever we talk about. Like today we talked about gardening, playing on the synthesizer, no structure at all, no goal at all, tinkering in the studio. It's the everything stream, it's the Max Hangout. Join us for tinkering in the studio. In the upper right, we have 505 beat making. That's where I make a beat and I talk about the loopers and the buttons I'm pressing and the input effects and things. How do I make the sounds I'm making? It's really interesting if you're into those technical details. Join us for 505 beat making. In the upper left, we have got Loops and Chill, which looks like a well put together, pre-written, rehearsed performance of 4 or 5 songs, 4 or 5 beats, that is, no vocals. Looks like you saw me at a venue at some show I've been rehearsing for. Nope, Loops and Chill is all improvised, the beats, the way that I arrange them, everything. Join us for Loops and Chill. And in the lower left, we have Unspoken. We're using the synth, we're using the loopers, but no talking at all, nothing, not a word on the mic from the start of the stream all the way to the finish. It's purely instrumental the whole way through. Join us for Unspoken. And whichever type of stream it is, my friends, that you join us for next, I am looking forward to seeing you at that time. Until then, please, please have a very good rest of your day today. Please relax and allow all of the available goodness to come to you today. Please put yourself into a very humble receiving mode today. Please allow the rest of your day to bring you to entirely new levels of what you believe is possible for you today. Let those doors open up in your own expectations today. And I will see you in the next Reconsider It live stream.